In the last lesson, we began the development of a name class. In this lesson, we're going to continue that development by looking at how to create a special method called the toString method. The toString method allows us to inspect or display the state of an object at any particular time. And by state, we mean all of the important data that is being stored in a class object. So it doesn't have to include all of the data, just that data which best represents the object at any particular time. Now in the case of this name class, it's going to represent all of the attributes, first, middle, and last. So to create the toString method, we go into the class definition, start a new definition, and name it to_s. Inside the definition, we're going to display the first, middle, and last names. There are several ways to do it. This will be one of the simplest. Simply take the first name, concatenate a space to it, then take the second name, concatenate a space to that, and then concatenate the last name. And that's all we have to do to display the name. So to call the toString method, we're going to take out our call to the inspect method and use toString instead. And that's all we have to do. So let's save the program and then run our new version. And we get Jane Elizabeth Brown with the space between the first and the middle and last names. If we don't like that definition, we can of course change it. We could have the method display the last name, followed by a comma, and then the first name, and then a space, and then the middle name, like so. So we'll make those changes, and then display it. Brown, comma, Jane Elizabeth. Or we could pick some other way completely to display the name. The important thing is that we have a method for toString, a convention that all objects have a toString method. A lot of times you're going to use toString in debugging purposes because you'll have other methods for displaying the data. But toString provides an easy way to just check as you're testing a program if the state of the object is what you expect it to be at any particular time. One last thing to mention about toString is that it's considered a default method for an object, although it doesn't display perfectly. So if we leave off a call to toString, or if in fact we leave off a call to any method, and just display the variable by itself, watch what happens. We get the results of the toString method along with the system name for the object. So notice again how we did that. We did that without a call to toString. So when you say print and then an object name, it automatically goes and finds the toString method and executes that, and then also provides the system name for that particular object. So that wraps up this lesson on the toString method. We've seen how to use toString to display all of the data in a class, understanding that we don't actually have to display all of it. We could have chosen just to display, for example, the first and last name. But here we chose to display all the data, but we did it in one group using toString. Another important aspect of a class design would be to provide ways to display only one attribute or field of data at a time. For example, just the first name or just the last name. And we can do that by making the attributes available to our program. Just to give you a hint, so that we could type aname.first, and that will display the data stored in the first attribute of aname. And do the same thing for the other fields also. And we're going to see how to do that in the next lesson.